Hi everybody, it's good to be together. Thank you for joining us here, where you are, as you are, on October the 7th, 2024. How on earth do we meet this moment? What do we do on such a terrible, painful day? I want to say right from the start that the full range of feelings is welcome here. Welcome in this space. Like Avraham and Sarah's tent, open on all sides, welcoming on all sides to whatever comes and goes. We don't choose what to feel for the most part. We don't have to try to suppress, push aside anger, fear, grief, or anything else. And we also don't have to manufacture some feeling we think we're meant to be having today. Whatever you are or are not feeling is really, really, truly welcome as we come together right now. Just as you are, in the fullness of your complexity and humanity. And so before we go any further, I invite you, those that wish to write into the chat a word, a phrase. What is it that you're feeling right now? Let me just open up the chat. And there you go. So we'd love to hear from some of you. What's here for you right now as we gather together? Amen. Thank you so much as they keep coming in. My heart just keeps saying Amen over and over. And a second question I invite you to write into the chat in response to is, what or who do you want to acknowledge in this space? Maybe there's a name or a group of people you want to be held here. Let's bring them into, let's hold them here. What or who do you want to be acknowledged here at this time and in this space we're holding together? And as the names come in, I'm going to light the yahrzeit candle that I have here next to me. Yes. Yes. All of them here with us in the ways that they can be. Thank you. Really welcoming all the feelings. Doesn't mean we like them, of course not. Doesn't mean we don't want them to become something else, but they're allowed to be here, just as they are. And how do we practice with all this? How on earth can we meet this moment? For many weeks now in the weekly Torah portions that we read throughout the book of Deuteronomy, Dvarim, we've been reading the words that Moshe speaks to the people, the children of Israel, who are assembled on one side of the Jordan River, about to cross into a land which Moshe knows he will not live to enter. The portion we just read 2 days ago is Ha'azinu. It begins, Ha'azinu Hashamayim. Listen, heaven. I hear it as a cry, which is very timely. And then at the very end of the portion, Moshe to the gathered people, the many hundreds of thousands, says to them, this Torah that I have been teaching you throughout the book of Devarim is not an empty thing. Ki lo davar rik hu mikem. It's not an empty thing for you. Ki hu chayechem, it is your life. As I was reading these words 2 days ago, approaching today, the weight of today, the heaviness of it, they really stood out to me, reached out to me, the words of Torah, coming to meet me right where I am, in the brokenness. These practices, this Torah, it's not empty. It's strong enough to meet even the most difficult and painful of moments. As we say in the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim, Chazak kamavet ahava, that love is as strong as death. Doesn't mean we're taking the difficulty away, of course not. Just that we're able to be here, to feel what we're feeling as it comes along, whatever that may be. That it is possible to find some steadiness in the experience. Not that we always will, of course, but the possibility is here, even here. This is how I hear the words of Moshe, through the brokenheartedness, through the ages, through the pain. It's not an empty thing. There's something we can turn to. So I'm not going to offer one practice today, because no one practice is always the one. But across the range, there is something. So in the meditation we're about to enter, we'll move together through 3 options, 3 possibilities. Grounding, care, and allowing. And as we do so, we'll remind our bodies and hearts and minds of the resources we can turn to anytime. We'll do a bit of chanting together after that, and then we'll say the Mourner's Kaddish. So I invite you now into practice with me. Remembering as you do so that, knowing as you do so that everything I say is suggestion, invitation. Please choose what's right for you and know that you can stop or adapt anytime. Let's find some posture together. How does the body want to be set up? Take about 20 minutes to meditate together, more or less. Some dignity, some ease in the way that you arrange the body, be it sitting or standing or lying down. And noticing, inquiring, what is the most solid and steady region of your experience right now? What can you lean on, give yourself to? What can hold you so you don't have to do the holding right here in this moment? If you're not sure, I suggest that you try out the sensations of your body meeting the ground. Maybe through the buttocks, maybe through the soles of the feet. Really turning the attention to where you feel the contact of the body with what it is resting on. Not so much thinking about it, but turning the attention, opening the awareness to receive the firmness of these sensations of contact, or whatever else it is that you're choosing as something steady and solid in your experience. Noticing the texture or textures, the weight, the temperature. Just spending a bit of time with this grounding sensation, this steadying part of your experience. We're not saying it's the whole thing, we're just exercising the power that we have to choose where to turn within it all. How about this region of relative firmness and stability? The earth, vast, able to receive whatever you want to give her. Dwelling place of the Shekhinah, the Heavenly Spirit, in the Kabbalistic understanding. God is in the ground, able to receive whatever we want to give, release. And I sometimes find this sense of steadiness and contact is enhanced when I bring a hand to my chest. I invite you to do the same, just letting a hand meet the chest. The contact firm and gentle. I'm really tuning in as best you can to sensation. Simple, present, palpable. In Psalm 90, the divine says, Shuvu v'nei Adam. Return, come back to me, you children of the earth. The ground is here, is waiting to receive us. Ah. Something here we can rest in. Give ourselves over to. Maybe as you do this, you have a sense of many others doing it with you. At least 56 other people here right now. Maybe in the group, in the coming together, there's also something we can ground in, be held by, rest in, be steadied by. Others here with you. a sense of, even with the eyes closed if they are, a sense of being in the presence of other souls, other hearts, other bodies. So maybe this just feels like what you need right now, just to keep lingering, turning and returning the attention to contact with ground, hand on chest, presence of others. And maybe you want to explore onward with me and turn to a sense of care that might flow or unfold from the steadiness. Or you might bring it in. You might think of a person who really makes you feel cared for. Maybe you only met them the once, but in that interaction there was genuine goodwill and recognition, mutual humanity. Maybe it's someone you know well. Maybe it's someone you don't know personally, but you feel it from them. The real care coming towards you. Maybe it's a particular memory, that a time when you really felt this in your bones, seen and cherished, just as you are, just as you are. So you might intentionally bring this person or moment to mind and let it be vivid. Sometimes I like to imagine the person behind me and slightly above, following John McCransky's suggestion, letting the care of this person pour down onto and into me. Keep refreshing it, remembering the person, the place. Subtly staying close as best I can to that sense of being looked out for, being loved. Perhaps with each in-breath, receiving a little more sense of care, soaking it in, letting the system absorb it, ever more deeply permeating the cells, the tissues, every atom cared for, honored. So receiving with each in-breath, and maybe with each out-breath there's a desire to pass it onward. Maybe the person whose name you wrote into the chat at the beginning, a group of people. Maybe someone else comes along, some other group, small or large. With the out-breath, offering it onwards. May you be well, be safe. Find some ease in the midst of things. receiving the care with the in-breath and offering it onwards with the out-breath. When we are in touch with resource, when we know it's here in the mix of it all, not that it's the only thing, but it's here too, the possibility of steadiness right in here, the availability of care, of love, coming into me and flowing outward, moving through the densities and spaces of my being. When we're able to touch this grounding, this care, this resource, it makes it somewhat easier to practice allowing, to allow what is here to be here, even what's difficult, painful, the sadness, the grief, the anger, the numbness, whatever it may be for you right now. Maybe as you stay in touch with the resource, you can also open to allowing, softening the need to manage, control, know what is happening or is going to happen, and just resting in the flow of things, letting them be here, all the different textures of awareness and life, knowing that you can really go at your own pace here. But maybe there's a texture, a hard edge, a pain, an emotion, that the grounding and the care support you to just allow a little bit more. Okay, sweetheart, maybe this is what's here right now. Allowing doesn't have to mean that we turn toward it directly. Our attention might continue to be with the steadiness, with the love. Just that we soften the background of awareness to allow what wants to pass through to do so. We'll take a few minutes of silence now, about 3. I invite you to choose your own way. grounding, care, allowing. Maybe one of these speaks to you particularly today. So you just spend a bit more time with that. Each of us on our own path and all of us here together. Maybe there's a prayer, a yearning, a longing that you want to give voice to internally or out loud as we are silent together. Whether or not you have a sense of who it's directed to, time for this now as well. Any prayer that moves through. We come now to a chant emerges from our practice and our silence. I encourage you to see this as still part of the meditation. You'll see the words appearing in the chat. Ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom. And as I chant them, you may want to join me out loud. On Zoom it only works for one of us to be off mute, but in the space that you're in, sing your heart out. Or hum. Or stay silent and let the echoes and reverberations pass through. Knowing that as we speak the words, the prayer, love, compassion, kindness, and peace, we're not trying to get these to replace anything else. Any of the harder-edged or more painful feelings. We're just asking that these divine qualities accompany the harder ones. Be by their side, around the edges, that the love, compassion finds its way through any little spaces or gaps which open up. as well as, not instead of. Rachamim, chesed, v'shalom, ahava, v'rachamim, chesed, v'shalom, ahava, v'rachamim, chesed, v'shalom, ahava, v'rachamim, chesed, v'shalom, ahava, v'rachamim, chesed, v'shalom. One more time. Ahava, v'rachamim, chesed, v'shalom. Take the chant inside. We now have the opportunity to say the Mourner's Kaddish prayer together. I invite you to write into the chat, which is now open again, the name or names of anyone you are saying Kaddish for or want to be held in mind with this prayer. Because we are in the sacred days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, the 10 days of return, we add in this extra word, le'elah u'le'elah, in the middle of the prayer. And Mark will put the link to the Kaddish also in the chat, so if you want to open it up for yourself, then you can do so. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we say this prayer together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav Izman Karev Imru Amen. Hey Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Al Me'al Maya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yinaseh V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shemei Dekutsha B'rechu La'ela Ula'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechamata Ta'amiram Ba'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya Chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Aseh Shalom B'mramav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'al Kol Yashvei Tevel V'imru Amen. Okay, friends. Thank you so much.